Good morning. Good morning. I'm just making sure everything is okay, that the sound is working, and we are set to go. And it pretty much does look like that. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit so that we're there. And I hear a message, and but I will made a little ding, but I will hopefully ignore that, and so do you. But anyway, this is a paper pumpkin for this month. Expressions in ink is what it is to copy, and that's wonderful and fun. And I'm going to show you the materials again. I'm sure you've seen them by now, but I'm going to show them again real quickly. And then I'm going to show you the alternates, okay, and discuss how they can be made. So first of all, what the kit has are the 2 inks, as we all know. Here they did advertise 2 inks, and one is the Evening Evergreen and the other one is the Bumblebee, which I love Bumblebee and use it a lot actually. And the Evening Evergreen is just beautiful and will come in handy for sure. So those are those 2. Then of course it came with a lovely stamp set, which is absolutely fabulous, which is right here. And the stamp set has a painting splotch area, and that's this one, and that's great. And you can see some of that on my background. I'm working with that still to try and get that smoother and more like what is on the box that I just showed you. Then there are 2 little flowers, a branch, and then this is the bigger flower, and then thanks, and you're amazing, congratulations, sending hugs. All right. And then we have many thanks for everything. So these are the stamps, and they're wonderful, and I love this flower stamp. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I thought it would be good and quiet, but obviously it's not. But that's okay. So anyway, so that's the stamp set. So that's that. Then what you have is the green twine. And when I do get twine like this, it's great twine, but I usually, when you'll see when I do my cards, I double it up always. I like to double that up. It gives it a little more dimension. Then we did get these beautiful iridescent sequins, and they do have holes in them, and they're great though. They're beautiful, and they match up with the cards so perfectly. And then of course, as you know, we always get these 2 items. You've got your little glue dots and your dimensionals. The other items that you get are right here. And this is some vellum that is actually almost like embossed on, and it's beautiful, as you can see. And we will be using that today. That's great. The good news, I'll just tell you right now, the good news is that you can take the ink and you can literally sponge it on or brush it on, okay? Or you can directly apply it if you have the right on the back, and it's beautiful, and you'll see the effect. It's nice and dark and brings that white out, and it's just lovely. All right. And so we got 3 sheets of this. We got 3 sheets of the flower, and the flower can be cut apart. You'll see in my card that I had cut out this part of the flower. It works perfectly. You can even cut out this part. You can do a lot and use it for more than one card, this flower. All right. Then you have danke, thanks, and merci. All right. And you get 3 of these. Everything you get 3 of. You get 3 of these for the note cards. You get 3 of these, which again, I cut apart completely, each one of these, to get it to do exactly what I wanted to do. They have, of course, an example of how they present it to you, which is, which is right here. They present it to you in this fashion and how to put it together. But I always have different ways of using, since these are so big and they're so effective. And so you got 3 sheets of these, so you have a lot of pieces. Then you got 1 sheet of these 6 small tags. And then you got 6 of these tags and 6 of these. As you see, I already used them because I am going ahead and showing you some cards and some alternate ideas from the pack. All right, so let's look at the cards. There are 3 different kinds of cards. There is the note card with the simple envelope. It's just a simple white envelope for that note card. Just a simple white envelope. Then for these 2 cards, these are the other 2 cards. There is this standard white envelope. And this is the beautiful color of this card. You can see you could cut this card in half and use both halves for different things if you like. It's great. And of course, the Bumblebee card. All right. And I will be showing you the use of all of these 3 cards. And obviously, those cards are standard. Okay, so one of my things was to use to make alternate cards. And so in the last paper pumpkin, as you can see here, I made this alternate card, and I used all the pieces from the paper pumpkin. And if you see here how I did this, I find this method better than the method I used here. And this is what you go ahead and do. And I used strips here. So it's a little different look. All right. And from your arrow card. And so this was my arrow card from the last paper pumpkin kit. And then just using the paper pumpkin kit, this is my arrow card for the June Expressions in Ink Complimentary Kit. And you can see here I have the V, and I went ahead and cut those out. I'm going to explain how I do that in just a moment. It'll be very simple and very straightforward. You see here, though, that I set this up a little differently. All right. I actually think I prefer the other way better, to have the point, but the point goes with the point here. So that's an option. The other thing I would do with this one is I would carry the ends. So all I do is when I cut this, these are the pieces from the side here. Okay, think of them as this right here. All right. And what I do then is I put it down, yellow side up, and then just put it down normally as long as it goes, and it'll go beyond this crease if I put it down here. And then I hold it there and then fold it down to see where I need to cut it. Now I cut it shorter, but I think just cutting it at the crease would be great and would be a better look. All right. So, so basically all you have to do is, for the first part of the card, find the 2 3/4 point, which was right here. And so then I took the standard yellow card and cut it, marked the 2 3/4 point, marked the 2 3/4 point, and then I put it into my cutter, and I put this edge where the center score line is, and took the point at 2 3/4 and put it directly within the cutting track, just like this, like I'm doing on the line, and then I cut. And I do the exact same thing for the other side. I go ahead and put that edge right into that cutting track and then put the 2 3/4 point and cut. These two pieces after cutting is what is represented here. Or in this one here. You decide what you like better. They both stand up better. I do like this one for standing. I think it is better when it stands, but that is up to you. All right, so next, to make that stand, I usually take this piece and make it a little lower, so then it gives it more strength to stand on that point. Next, okay, after cutting that, okay, I take that vellum piece, that beautiful little vellum piece. I'll go right over here and get that. I take that vellum piece and I find, and it's 4 by 5 1/4 right here. And I go ahead and find the center point here. So basically what this card is going to do is it goes right here, right? It's going to go right here. This is at 5 1/4. So I'm going to find its center point. Half of 5 is 2 1/2. Half of 1/4 is 1/8. So that means that I will be cutting it at 2 5/8. You can see here that math right here. This is how I do my math. Basically, I simplify, break down, and then figure out that that score number. So what I'm going to do, or cutting number. And so what I'm going to do at 2 5/8, I'm going to mark that point and do exactly the same thing now. I'm going to take that and that point and cut it through my tool and take that and that point and cut it, leaving these two pieces. Okay. Once I have these two pieces, this, or this goes on the back side, and I go ahead and color it. Then I use the tear and tape, and I put it on the back and tape this down. All right, so very easy, very beautiful effect, I think. All right, and so then I cut up the pieces of those beautiful leaves, and I doubled up my cord and put "You Are Amazing" in the bumblebee. And of course, I tear and tape this right here down. Of course, that's the V that goes here, and then those two go there. And that's all there is to this card. So very easy, very fun card. And the other one was made in that similar manner, except since it did not have it had a card piece that was more like this in that last one, and I just cut it in half and used those as strips on this one. So very similar concept, different look a little bit, and works. So the arrow card is a fun card to make with your paper pumpkins. I think this is a potential for many of those card kits. Next, what I'm going to show you is this card. I used the Bumblebee card. Now this was a trial card. So I did not double up the ribbon. I also did not use the actual paper since I need it for later. So I just used Bumblebee stock, but this is exactly the same kind of card that will be done using the kit. And so as you can see here, this is what we call a seam card or binder card. All right, so this is 3/4 of an inch scored. So I took 3/4 of an inch and scored that. All right. And then glued that down. Of course, I stamped first, and you can see the stamps I used from the kit. And then I stamped down as close to the edges as possible here with that smallest stamp. I stamped this pattern onto the paper in the evening evergreen. I cut, as I said, that flower, and I cut this piece off of the flower, and I colored in evergreen, an evening evergreen, the back side, so you can see how beautiful that works out. That's really nice. I did use this stamp to do the background and sending hugs, and you see again here those little pieces that I used. And what I used here are the pieces from the note card. I like bigger cards than the note card, so I knew I was going to break down my note card. I broke down my note card, and as you can see, it's too long, so I cut off a piece. You could even cut off more than I did to use right here underneath. That's what this is. Sorry about the noise. Try to keep that quiet. All right, so right there. And so I used that down there, and then I put that on top, and that's all this card is. And it's a great alternate, and it's fun, and it's, I think, very pretty. I think it's kind of like Scandinavian looking, like some of their new stamp sets that are in the catalog. So there's that one. Then I'm going to show you another one. This is usually how a seam or binding card does work. I am not so keen on the colors I chose. I would rework that thought. The layout I really do like. And the stamps I used, of course, were this one and this one. And the little flower, I like that flower a lot. And you can see here, I used the embellishments. I cut again the pink apart so I could use it there. I doubled up my string. So that was really good. And I really am sorry for all those beings. I'll have to, since this is only my second live streaming video, I'll have to figure out how to go ahead and turn off the sound from my actual laptop. I've got it figured out for my screen here, but for the screen down here. I haven't figured it out for the computer, so I'll have to do that. So sorry. Anyway, so this is that. And of course, I used, again, I'm going to use this card right here to cut up to make this piece and this piece. And so the background, I just don't think I would try, I don't think I would use the polished pink. I think I would go with something else, but maybe you can tell me if this card is okay color scheme wise for you. And of course, the white cardstock, I just cut the pieces 1/4 of an inch smaller than what was here. This is an inch. The seam here is an inch. This is your typical seam card with an inch. And then, of course, this would be the white piece would be 3/4 by 5 1/4, and then this becomes less than that by 1/4, and you can go by 1/8 or 1/4 each time. And so then this one, what is left, I believe I can give you those dimensions if I can find my ruler. I think I see my ruler. I think I see a ruler. So for this ruler, it's going to be about, okay, so that one is about 3 3/4 would be, it's about 3 7/8. It's 3 7/8 long. And then the width is 3.5. Okay. And so then this was 4. The white one is a 4 by 4.25 is what this is, 4 by 4.25. All right, so those are those dimensions, just real quick. All right, so that's that card. So what you've seen are 3 cards. Now the big pièce de la résistance. So I cut that one card, as I told you, that little piece off, right? So there's that little piece that I had cut off, correct? Well, what happens here with this one, this is the rest of that piece, and there is that flower. All right. So, so there's the rest of the flower. You can see here, I cut a little bit more of that purple, or it's fresh freesia leaf apart and put that right here. I'm going to explain how to do this. I did trace this out and then cut a backing. All right, I did do that. You can do that in white. You can do that in any color you really want. I wanted to make it sturdier. You don't have to. You could just leave it free if you like, but I decided to go ahead and do that. And as you can see, it works very nicely on the back side. All right, and so to do this, all you need to do, here are the dimensions. All you need to do is go up 2 inches. So you're going to go up 2 inches from the bottom. And then from the sides, you're going to go 1/4 inch and mark with a pencil. And then again, you're going to lay this in your track. And you're going to find that point. And you're going to find this point, and you are going to score. Then you do the same thing with this side. You mark those 2 points. And you are going to score. You are then going to go ahead from the middle, push so that it folds in. As you see on this card, this is my pop-up. Remember, you can go beyond here and you can go beyond here easily. You just have to make sure that when you close, it falls inside and not outside. This is very easy. A lot of people show all kinds of ways of doing this. The simplest way is you place your 4 by 5.25 sheet of paper right on here. Okay, right on here, the side up that you want. And what I do is I take it right here and I put it in place where I want it. And then I mark it with a pencil here and mark it with a pencil here. I take my other sheet, put it exactly the way I want to see it, put it at my points again, and I mark it here and mark it here. I go into my toolkit, excuse me. I go into my scoring tool and cutting tool. And again, I put this right in the track and cut. It'll fit perfectly. That's all you got to do. No template, no nothing. Very, very simple. You can do, if you wanted a piece here at the front, you do the same. You put your piece in, your 4 by 5.25 or whatever size you want. If you want it smaller, 4 and 5.25 will fit better. And mark, and then cut with your cutting tool. That's all it is. Very simple. I enjoyed making this card. I love this card. I think it's very pretty. It's definitely a card that can be used for paper pumpkins. You can check out, if you're interested in seeing, I think it was the April or maybe even the March paper pumpkin. I think it was the March paper pumpkin kit that that was used. I've got it right here, so let me show you. This paper pumpkin kit. If you go to Hannah Bird site for a video, a YouTube video, She did one of these with this kit. So it is a really very friendly alternate for paper pumpkins. And so, of course, they're all a little different because they all have a little different pieces, but it's all doable. So, and so you might want to check her out on Hannah Bird's YouTube site. All right. So I think what who inspired us to do this is a SU demo from Florida. She actually inspired us to make these cards. This is one of the first cards I did make. And as you can see here, I did use this set that is in the last mini catalog that's going to be gone June 30th. If you look at my previous video, you will see this set used again. Today is a free shipping. So you might look at that kit and go through the last chance product site and choose that. If you are interested in, if you don't have a demo and you're just and you want to purchase, you can go ahead, click on click below to see the information if you're interested. Okay, so Renee Ewert here, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I was glad to show it to you this morning. All right, have a great day. I'm going to go ahead